we got something very, very interesting, a partnership that was long in the making. We have MDB and EMP Money here for their partnership, AMA, talking about an NFT collection that they are launching together. Very, very excited to hear everything you guys got to say. So, welcome, AJ and the Godfather, Danny, whichever one you want to go by these days.
Yes, the artist formerly known as, right? Yeah. No, yeah, man. We're happy to be here, bro. Again, shout out to Cardinal House. You guys have been one of our long-term supporters, and yeah, like you said, this was a partnership that was a long time coming, and has been. I mean, we again, to give a little bit of background real fast, MDB has made an investment into our protocol. We shared a farm for a while with the eShare MDB Plus pools. So yeah, we've had a great relationship so far. And this NFT, which again we're gonna get into here in a minute, but this has been the cultivation of an amazing partnership. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I love to hear it. Real quick, as you guys know, we do things a little bit differently here. So if you're in the audience, go ahead and hop into the AMA polls. We just have a couple questions, a couple things to get to know you guys a little bit better, some different questions than what we've asked you before. But with Thanksgiving coming up, at least in the US, we got our first question. Do you guys prefer pumpkin or apple pie?
Apple.
Apple?
I would say, yep, I would say Apple as well.
Oh no. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. If you had to give a year, would you say 2023 or 2024 for the next bull run?
23.
I also agree. 23. Yeah, I think we're in for a little more pain. I think, but I think it's gonna turn around before we know it, and that's how it
I'm
always
curious,
happens.
AJ, what's your logic behind that?
Yeah, no doubt. So I think again, as many people say that crypto is uncorrelated to the overall economy, I think that's complete bullshit. So I think that once we see the CPI numbers get better, again, once the U.S. Adjusts their inflation rates and all their interest rates, I think that is going to be a catalyst for the next bull run. So that could be early next year, mid next year, but I really don't see it going, past the next year. So, Danny, what about you, bro?
Yeah, my logic, I think, to be honest, I think that people talk in these cycles, and I think cycles are true, right? I think down and up, and yeah, there's a gap between the two, but how big the gap is and how short or long they are, I think is a. I think I always say that people who tell you for sure that they know should come with a warning, and you just don't know. And I think if you look, people basically use history to predict the future, but nobody could have predicted the last bull run, and certainly the way it was. And quite frankly, it was really triggered by COVID. Let's be honest, right? It was already a pump happening within the market, and then you pay a load of people to sit at home. There was people had
For
so
sure.
much disposable income in the Western world, because they weren't going on holiday. Like most people, if you were like me, you just sat in shorts for a year and a half, and so you didn't buy clothes, you didn't go out for dinner, you didn't go on holiday, all of that stuff, right? So, and you sat there, you have a couple of beers in the evening, you're like, well, what's this Doge? I'll put 10k in that. Why not? I can't spend money anywhere else. I'm not allowed to leave my house. So, and I think nobody could have predicted that. So I think crypto is so different today. It's so much clearer in the mainstream today than it was 2 years ago. That to use this like cookie cutter prediction of what happened in the past will happen again, I think is yeah, almost just excludes like how the landscape has changed.
Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah, love that description. I definitely think people aren't paying attention to some factors. I think in general, you have the markets trade generally before the economy moves up, right? Because people are trying to make money. So you'll have big money
Yeah.
move into it, preceding the economy actually giving these indicators that, like the CPI, you might find that 6 months. I mean, people didn't start pushing out this idea of inflation or recession until when? Like June, July is when it became big news. But when were the markets at the peak? About 6 months prior. So it usually precedes what's going to happen in the economy. And I think it goes off of people trying to make money. It makes sense. They're going to try and sell before the economy gets bad.
I think you're spot on, Chris. Like in Europe, for instance, everyone all summer has been talking about what happens in Europe with gas, with the whole Russia situation. So it's priced in now.
Mhm.
So you're right. In the next sort of 6 weeks, they have to start pricing in what happens when the weather's getting warmer again and Europe doesn't need that gas. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure to see what happens. But I think I'm in on the same boat. I think early 2023 to mid 2023.
By the way, I would never trade. I couldn't trade because I'm too optimistic. I have such a positive bias naturally that I would only be good in a bull market because I just can't live my life believing that the world is never going to get better than it is today. So yeah.
That's
Yes, I think
funny.
we're all those eternal optimists, right? Or perma bull, as I like to say. Yeah, totally.
That is funny. We have a lot of traders in our crew. That is currently the thing going around, and a lot of people that are benefiting from a couple exceptional traders that we have in there. So that's really awesome. On that, trading bots or day trading? That's the next question.
That's amazing. So yeah, I think Danny, you had some insider info there. What a segue. So I would say 100% equivocally neither. So I have never been a trader or again day trade bots any which way. I think that trading is the number one way to lose all your money. And again, I've been in crypto for 7 years. I've seen it all, and I can promise you that I've lost more money even just dabbling in trading than had I just bought and held or hodled. So yeah, Danny, what about you, bro?
Yeah, I think for me, I think I when I say trade, I sometimes pick a trade in the market, maybe once every month or two, and I won't go, oh, let's use leverage and stuff like that. I just and literally my trigger is always when everyone is losing their shit, saying the world's going to end. I'm like, okay, well, I need to buy some stuff. And that's always my trigger. I look for that when it's full on Chicken Little time. Then I go, oh, I'm just going to buy 10K's worth of ETH, and then 2 weeks later I'd sell it for 60% profit. And I'd never get into trading because it's just not me. But I think there is a bot strategy if you could diversify across bots. I think the problem with bots is when you see maybe one being the be all and end all. So I would go, I think if you can use bots as a small part of your portfolio or even spread across them, then I'm okay with that. But yeah, so I'm going to go with bots.
I love
All
the
right. Yeah.
Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's a good. No, I was gonna say sorry, Chris. So yeah, at least I know I kind of had a cop out. I apologize, but by saying neither, at least Danny gave an answer. But yeah, and to clarify too, I mean, I think Danny hit the nail on the head. There in my eyes, and again, maybe this is just me in the way that I say things, but I think there's a big difference between trading and picking entries into the market. So like Danny said, I mean, obviously, and no truer words have been spoken, the buying opportunity is when the sky is falling, is when there's blood in the streets, and it's very difficult to pick the bottom. But as long as and I'm a huge fan, of DCAing, and some people may consider that, trading. But really, as long as you're able to accumulate, while things are bad, then you can make an insane amount of money when the bull market returns. And I've always said, buy when there's fear, and when your grandma asks you about Bitcoin and NFTs, that is typically a sign to get out. So yeah, that's when you want to say profit. Yeah.
That's a
Oh
great
gosh.
point. The point, sorry, Chris, that I forgot, and AJ's just reminded me. The point I was making as well, and I lost my way a little bit, was that there's so much manipulation in crypto. There's so much manipulation, and that's why I would just pick like
Yep.
really vivid moments to take an entry, because and actually sometimes my moment is because everyone is predicting one thing on Thursday. This data's coming out. the world's going to end. It's just if I can't hear a single voice telling me the opposite, then typically crypto has taught me that the opposite is going to happen. And
Yeah.
there's so much manipulation out there that I don't know. I always say like trading's a bit like your friend who goes to the betting shop. You know, traders always tell you about trading, and when they're not talking, it means they're losing.
Yeah.
In my view.
I think if you look at I mean, you could see it for 100% in like last run, previous runs before that. But as soon as people start thinking we're going into a bull run, and that might be, 2K ETH, that might be a little bit higher, we're going to have a 10% spike. And that's going to be a 10% drop, just a flash crash where all those longs get liquidated. And then you're going to see it build right back up. All those longs just get because there's too much money to be made if you're longing it with leverage at $1,500. Too much money to be made. So yeah, there's definitely those pieces in the market that you'll have whales that come and make sure that people aren't making too much money off of them. 100%. Next up, if you could only purchase, and this is something I really wanted to ask you guys both, because you guys are now having both of your projects now have a multi-asseted system. And if you could only purchase tokens or NFTs for the rest of your life, which would it be?
Oh, that's a really hard question.
Yeah, Danny. Danny, you first. I've been quiet on purpose. Go ahead,
It's a really
bro.
hard
Go ahead.
question. It's a really hard question because they're just the two. They're it's like having to maybe give up sausages or bacon. It'd be horrible. I'd say tokens. If you were like in your absolute last resort and had to make a choice, then I would choose a token. But tokens, like NFTs, have something like really. I think they have something really clever about them, and that tokens don't. And I think it depends how the token is used within an ecosystem. If a project is making sure that it's not going to be diluted later on, that they actually deliver a utility, and and they deliver the utility that a token would, but also then provide you with this secondary market that isn't so dependent on an LP. Like, yeah, tokens are a rough ride when it goes against you. Which I know NFTs can as well, but an NFT with utility means that it has some intrinsic value.
Yeah, no doubt. Well said, Danny. And I think it boils down to like the chicken or the egg comparison, because I think that NFTs have an amazing use case and value, but you have to have a token that is rewarded. I mean, even if it's a stable token, I mean, because an NFT without utility is complete trash. I mean, and that comes from, I am
17 AMAs in, that's it now.
yes.
I'm saying it as it is.
Exactly, Danny. So again, for those of you who don't know, I mean, I'm a digital artist. Like, it is my background, and I never understood, these $1 million JPEGs, without any use case. But when we develop these NFTs, these Sentinel Squadrons, what MDB has already done with their Inferno Phoenix NFTs, and so those are the NFTs that have the inherent value, and that I think is the true, ultimate use case for NFTs.
Yeah.
NFTs that are able to yield, or have some sort of inherent value, whether it's a concert ticket, or even being able to have mortgages and commercial property encapsulated into NFTs. So I
Yeah.
think that's huge. And so again, it's you can't really have one without the other, so that's a really hard question. But yeah, I
Definitely.
mean, I guess if I had to choose, yeah, there has to be a token first, and then you can definitely explore NFTs. So
Yeah.
yeah, my answer is token as well.
NFTs are essentially tokens with some extra information in there. And I guess to play devil's advocate to what you said, the only piece I'd give on the utility is status. I mean, realistically, what does a Rolex provide that a normal watch doesn't? They both tell the time the same, right? It's just the status symbol. So that's going to be like the crypto punks are big because, I mean, it shows that you are a first mover. It shows that you have the status of owning one and have that worth. So
Yeah, no, and that, bro, Chris, you hit that again. That's an amazing counterpoint because it's something that Danny and I discussed at length while we were rolling out these NFTs. I mean, there is that emotional connection,
hmm
to the image or the collectability that it's just hard to put into
yeah.
words, and that's why these NFTs are so unpredictable. But we we accomplished the best of both worlds. We have a badass robot image with a bunch of unique traits, and we have utility. So yeah,
hmm
Danny, I know again it was many sleepless nights between both of us trying to figure out how to induce the pure FOMO on Sunday. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Uh, and last big question, in 10 years, do you think more people will hold tokens or NFTs?
I think I'll go back to AJ. I think there's a technical answer to that, which is that the tokens are the. It's a really good thing. Yeah, well, you start getting public records as NFTs,
Yep.
things shift very quickly. Yeah, you
Tickets, public
start
records.
using. Yeah, well, you think of all the documentation in a business globally, in supply chain, in warranty documents. NFTs, potentially, could I think there's probably digital documents probably outweigh the number of dollars there are in the world, surprisingly. And yeah, I think I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it, AJ?
It is, brother. So, but no, I mean, again, I think that the short answer is definitely tokens. If we're just talking, DeFi and the overall crypto landscape. But like Danny just said, I mean, once we finally do see full scale adoption, I absolutely think, like I said earlier, NFTs can solve so many, use case problems in the real world. I mean, again, Danny
Mhm.
said it, warranties, concert tickets, land deeds. I mean, once we finally make that transition, and again, who knows, it may be another 40 or 50 years before, that happens. Unfortunately, I think the older generation just doesn't understand, and as
Mhm.
morbid as it sounds, they have to kind of die off for the new
Oh
generation.
god.
Yeah, well, no, it's for real though, for sure. I mean, the new generation to
Mhm.
know the power of these NFTs, and
Mhm.
and I think a lot of that comes with regulation as well. I know I was going to bring this up on your previous question, but I think that once we see regulation in the space, that is when I think we're going to have a huge catalyst for adoption. So a lot of people are worried about regulation, but I have the viewpoint of actually it being a major benefit to where,
Mhm.
crypto and NFTs can become, the 12th sector of the global economy. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. And sweet. That's gonna be it for like all the questions unrelated. But how excited are you guys for this partnership? Because I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, on how long it's been in the making. And I know you guys have done some stuff together, like you said, Danny. But
I'm
Yeah,
laughing. I'm
Danny.
laughing because this is like a facet in our partnership, and I feel like it's a relationship now.
Yeah, it is. Exactly. Yeah, Danny, we're gonna be taking each other out to dinner here shortly. So yeah,
When's the
no doubt, man.
ceremony?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, Danny's all right, I guess. I mean, I guess he's an okay chap. But yeah, no. So no, I mean and that's everything comes to the public eye while we're marketing. But Danny and I mean, we've been working together behind the scenes on many things, literally for months. So again, like I mentioned earlier, MDB has a substantial investment into our protocol. We were very involved with the Phoenix Plus launch. We brought a lot of volume to that from our community. And again, now this is just the next, or the eShare MDB Plus pool we had, and now this is just another facet of how we've worked together. And we've said it on a few AMAs together. But and then you can elaborate more on this. But it really is about good projects sticking together. I think that there's this misconception that DeFi projects are competing with each other, and that you're sharing the market share. That there's only so much DeFi users and so much money to go around. But really, I don't see it that way, and I'm a big fan of diversification. I think that having positions in multiple protocols that you can trust, again, not protocols that are going to disappear. I think that is the real power. And so, yeah, Danny, I mean, I know you have the same mindset of working together to rise all ships, rather than it being a competition. So.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. And I've got on my soapbox several times already this week about how I think probably 80 to 90% of the potential liquidity in the market is wasted on irresponsible projects, if I'm brutally honest. And so we talk about what a bull market, what ETH's at 1,500, what a bull market makes it times five. I think we've got a times five for good projects if people spend less time and less money in the bad projects, if I'm honest. So I think there's probably a times five, then a times five that's available if DeFi and investors can sort of concentrate their resources onto the projects that are going to be here in 6, 12, 18 months.
100%.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So why don't we dive into the meat and potatoes of what you guys got cooking up with the NFT collection. I know we got some being auctioned off. If you want to start on those, AJ, but we can also start with the other collection. Whatever you feel like, wherever you feel the best starting point is.
All right, yeah, no doubt, Chris. So I'll take the lead here again. It's going to be a lot of information, so bear with
Take
us.
notes.
And and take it all in. Yeah, we also have a white paper on our docs, and I know on both of our discords, we've been putting out a lot of info. So yeah, let's start with the legendaries because the legendary auction is actually going on right now. So we are auctioning off two of our five total legendaries. So we'll talk more about the mint, the full mint after this. But in that mint, we've made five 100% unique, one of a kind legendary NFTs, and so two of them are being auctioned off. We are doing a blind auction where you submit a Google form. Again, all this info is in our socials, but you submit that Google form, and as long as you have the funds in your wallet, we will be checking. But you can submit a bid on that legendary, and then we'll be announcing the highest bidder every hour or so over the next 24 hours, and much more. A lot faster towards the end. But if you are the largest bidder, you will have first pick, and the second highest bidder will get the second one. And we just released the two images, and they are a solid gold Sentinel Squadron robot. One of them is a Willy Wonka robot. Again, our community always refers to me as the Willy Wonka of DeFi because we're giving away so much money with our lotteries and that golden ticket. And then there's another one that is a killer cyberpunk robot. So again, they're going to be extremely valuable not only from a collectability standpoint, but they're also going to give us many perks inside of our ecosystem, and again, maybe even MDB as well moving forward. But we are going to give our all of our legendary holders instant VIP access. You'll have access to early investment opportunities through our protocol. I mean, we've been able to raise millions of dollars from our community into other protocols that we trust. And so we get, again, early investment opportunities on that. And by having a legendary, you'll be one of the first in line for all that. And again, with our detonator as a service, which is leasing our detonator contracts, if you're a legendary holder, you'll also have early access to get into those as well. So it could be very valuable. The yield on the legendaries will be the same, just to be fair to all the other participants. But Danny, I know you did a very similar auction, and how much did your NFTs go for in the auction?
Yeah, it was. We auctioned one actually rather than two, and it went for $10,000 actually.
Wow, man, that's amazing. So again, that was a lot smaller mint as well. So we may not see 10,000, but I think that there's going to be some major, major demand for these legendaries. And um, if you're not able to bid on them, three of the five, again, we're auctioning off two, so that leaves three remaining. Um, those will be given at random in our mint. So again, it's a reason to maybe buy more than one NFT to increase your chances of getting that legendary. And so again, that could be if you mint one of those. I mean, you could potentially sell it on the secondary market for a 10x or more. Again, not financial advice, but so yeah, we're really excited about the legendaries, and all five of them are 100% unique. The other three images we're not releasing ahead of time, so you're just gonna
Okay.
have to be surprised with all the rest of us. But I can tell you they're badass.
So
So
can you
yeah.
remind me how the other three are being separated? So the two of them are being auctioned, and then when are the other three being sold or released?
Yep. So again, with the mint, and we'll talk about this next, but when you mint the NFT, you are given a unique image based on all these traits. Well,
Mhm.
we've interspersed the remaining three legendaries into some of those mints. So again, if you bought an NFT and it happens to be that exact mint number, then you get a legendary. So yeah, it's just based on the luck of the draw with minting the new token or the new NFTs. So I don't know if that helps, Danny. Maybe you
Yeah.
can elaborate. But yeah, does that make sense, Chris?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So it's kind of a
Cool.
random, if I'm getting it right, it's kind of a random, you got to mint until you end up getting it, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And who knows? They may all three of them may be in the first window, or they may be at the end. Like we don't know. It's all randomly generated behind the scenes.
Mhm.
So it's a luck of the draw. So but yeah. And so again, that'll make a little more sense when I talk about the actual mint as well. So yeah, we can jump into that unless you had any questions about the legendaries.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
All right, awesome. So, again, these are the Sentinel Squadron NFTs. There will be a total of 5,000 that we are minting at $300 each. And so, the mint will actually take place on the MDB website. We will be posting that link 24 hours ahead of time. So, do not get scammed. Make sure you're following all the pinned messages and never respond to any DMs. No matter how convincing they may be, all of them are scams. So again, we're doing this on October 30th, which is this Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern or noon UTC, depending on what time zone you're in. And you're able to pay for them again, $300 in BUSD or Phoenix Plus. So Danny, you want to tell everybody about Phoenix Plus real fast? Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So Phoenix Plus really is BUSD on steroids. It charges a 2% tax going in, which it cannot go down in value. You can't buy it and it's worth less than the day you bought it. It can only go in one direction. If you want to check the chart, you'll see, it's gone from well, it depends on PancakeSwap. That I think we set the pool up at like about 120. But anyway, I'm rambling. I think the price today is. I think we're getting close to $1.50. It started at $1. And it only launched a few months ago, so it's seen a 50% rise. Yeah, so it's really just, it's like a wrapped BUSD, if you like, that has a small tax and it can only appreciate in value. So it's a very interesting token. You can use it when you're minting the NFT, and you're going to see that APY run pretty hard when the volume starts shifting through the token when it gets towards mint time. But otherwise BUSD is there, and it's very simple, and people are much more familiar with it as well.
Yep. So we want to give both options, and again, depending on your familiarity, it'll be super straightforward. As long as you have the funds in your wallet, you'll be able to mint. And we're doing the mint process very, very different than most other NFT launches. So again, like I said earlier, Danny and I were brainstorming on how do we capitalize on ultimate FOMO, because again, NFTs are just so emotional and so impulsive that's how it operates. So we came up with this idea of doing what we're calling windows or blocks. So there will be 10 30-minute windows after that 8 a.m. launch. The first window will have 500 NFTs within the first 30 minutes. So that might sell out in 1 minute. It might take 20 minutes, but as long as all of the NFTs sell out in that window, we move on to the next window. So if it sells out in 1 minute, you have to wait 29 minutes until the next window, at which point another 500 NFTs will be available to mint. Now, if we get to a point where, in the fifth or sixth window, maybe demand has died off, there's only 300 NFTs that get minted in that window, and then the 30-minute time slot ends, then that will signify the end of the entire minting process. So in reality, we may end up minting a lot less than 5,000, and this really drives that rarity factor and collectability. But we're really confident that we're gonna do a full mint out, and by doing it this way as well, it gives people in other time zones a little bit fair chance as well. Again, I would still suggest getting up early or staying up late, depending on where you are, to be there right at noon UTC. Again, 8 a.m. Eastern. But yeah, I mean, we're trying to make it as fair as possible to everybody get their shot. But I know, in my community and Danny's community with MDB, there's people that are looking to buy, possibly 500 on their own. And so, again, I know that, we want everybody to have a fair shot, but at the end of the day, it's about generating as much revenue for the protocol as we can, to be able to again move into even more sustainability at EMP, and even that just the announcement of this NFT. If you look at our chart, I mean, the EMP and the eShare chart have been absolutely skyrocketing from the time that we announced this. So those are the mint details. Do you have any questions on that, Chris? Before we get after that, we'll get into the juicy part of what can I earn, right? What can I make off these? So yeah, go ahead,
Yes.
Chris.
We're not even there yet. We're not even there yet. Yeah, the only piece I wanted to say, I really like the fact that you guys are, if that, like you said, I think you said if like the fifth or sixth window doesn't get filled, you know what, it's over. I love that piece.
Yes.
Would you be minting out the rest, or would you have those as like if you did like your example of like 300, would you still have the 200 mintable, or would those also get kind of deleted?
Yep, so all of them will be deleted or burned. Absolutely. So again, I mean, the reason we do that is because the money has to come from somewhere.
Mhm.
So we don't want to give yield on NFTs that were never bought.
Yes.
So yeah, that's why we completely burn them out of existence. And it really, even if we do get in a situation where we don't mint all of them, it doesn't hurt or or increase. I mean, it's a net neutral on
Hmm.
what we're able to yield. So even again, it's not like we have to mint out completely to deliver the yields that we're saying. It's just whatever the capital is that comes in, that's what we'll use to yield. And again, we'll talk about all that in a minute. But one more thing about the NFTs too, in regards to the legendary. So because we have the possibility of stopping the mint early, there would also be a situation where some of the legendaries would never be minted because they would be randomly, in the later part of the mint. And now that would never happen. So again, not only is that another reason to maybe buy one or two or three NFTs instead of one, to help that window fill, but it also makes legendaries potentially even more rare if there's only one or two that end up getting minted. So yeah, I mean, again, we've looked at all angles of how to make you all go crazy and FOMO into these NFTs. So yeah, we're really excited.
Gotcha. Love it. Love it. Love it. That is really, really awesome. All right, let's get into all the juicy stuff. How are these NFTs or the funds from these NFTs being used? What is happening with rewards for the NFT holders? Let's hear it.
All right, I love it. So yes, the moment you all been waiting for, right? So yeah, we will be taking the fund. So again, just for easy math, say all 5,000 NFTs sell out. That is $1.5 million that will be entering our protocol. And what we do is we take that 1.5 million and we apply it to eShare BNB LP. The Treasury already owns a bunch of eShare, so we may not see a ton of volume on eShare, but you've already seen it going parabolic. So again, none of this is financial advice. But then we take the eShare and the BNB, we pair it up with that 1.5 million, and we go into the reactor. So this NFT is essentially an auto compounder on our reactor protocol. So again, in our ecosystem, we have the detonator, which is EMP ETH LP, and we have the reactor, which is eShare BNB LP. And both of these ROI contracts have proven to be very sustainable. Yeah, I mean, has the yield gone down? Absolutely, but that's because again we're in the middle of a bear market, and so the fact that it's paying anything is super amazing. I mean, even now reactor is like upwards of 8.8% daily, which is amazing. So between all this volume coming in and us becoming the largest good actor or the largest good whale in reactor, we'll be utilizing a 70%, 30% compounding strategy with those funds. And again, all this is done through a smart contract. So we're not managing funds for anybody. I want to make that perfectly clear. No expectation of profit from the work of others. All of this is done through decentralized smart contracts on the back end. And by buying an NFT, you're agreeing to that smart contract. So anyway, the funds are then compounded on that schedule of 70% compounded and 30% claimed. And what this does is it makes it to where we're always compounding more than we're claiming in reactor, which allows us to give a lot of payout but not hurt the protocol or that contract overall. And actually, anybody that's already in reactor should also see some serious rewards because yeah, the pool will be much bigger, so you will be diluted, but the actual value on your LP in theory should be much more to where it's also helping everybody that's already in reactor. So and then it's as simple as claiming that 30% every day, and then again the e-share is already there. The BNB side will be used to buy MDB, and then we will distribute eShare and BNB directly to your wallet. So again, it won't go into your wallet because that would require a lot of gas fees, and we didn't want to spend more money on gas. We would rather give you more rewards instead. So you'll be able to go to our website and hit a claim button at your convenience. It could be once a day, once a month, once a week, and that's where you would get all the rewards that have accumulated in both eShare and BNB. So yeah, and what we're advertising right now, which is extremely conservative, is that you can expect about 0.4% daily on that $300 mint price. So again, if you bought two, that would be 0.4% of $600. And in all reality, it may be much more yield than that. We're just being very conservative. And
Mhm.
remember, buy an NFT, your capital is not locked up. So, if you're not happy with the yield, or if you want to make a quick flip, I mean, typically, and Danny, you can elaborate, but I think you could easily see a double or a triple on the mint price of the NFTs alone on the secondary market. So not only is it a way to get exit liquidity without hurting the protocol, but now you're also yielding on those NFTs as well. So yeah, man, we're so again the NFTs are a no-brainer, and a lot of people have had complaints. I hate to say complaints because that has a negative connotation, but a lot of people are frustrated by having a compound every day in Reactor. Well, now that this NFT will essentially do it for you by going into it. So it is an
Mhm.
auto compounder, as well, as long as you buy an NFT and use it that way. So yeah. All right. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Was that good? I'm happy to go over more. So, yeah.
Danny, what do you got? What do you got out on? Or did he cover everything?
Oh, I love it. I love being here, AJ talking, me, being able
Chilling.
to, yeah, just to sit back and take it all in for once.
Taking a drink.
I
Yeah,
love
no,
it.
look,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think,
Danny's buying EMP right now. Let's not get it twisted. So yeah, go ahead, Danny.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
FOMOing right now. But look, I think there's I think there's almost like a value to the holder over sort of standard reactors. So I think it almost has this like value exchange. But the fact, like AJ said, the fact that you can benefit in a really optimal way, and you're actually helping the protocol as well, because it means that the largest, as AJ said, the largest investor, these things work on certain models, and the more there's a certain model, and the more claims are taken in a way that's deemed as sustainable from a ratio perspective, the better it is for everybody. And the challenge of a project owner is that you can't make people do what's best for everybody, and invariably some people do what's best for everybody, and sometimes they're worse off because of the people that do what's best for themselves. And I think this is a really clever way of delivering, yeah, like this added value, brilliant returns. I'm really bullish. I think sort of the secondary market value, I think, is going to be really insane for these. Not financial advice, and at the same time, it has a huge impact on the protocol. So not only can you do well off of it, but I think also it's not hurting the thing that you're all dependent on to make an income.
Hmm.
yeah. I love it. No, great points, Danny. And that was another strategic move on our part of using MDB and eShare as the rewards, because those are tokens that both of our systems promote as profit taking vehicles. So again, I mean, I'm of the mindset of accumulating. So I can tell you personally, I'm not selling any of my eShare and MDB that I get, because MDB and eShare are income producing assets. eShare you can put in the boardroom or put it into Reactor. on your own to reinvest, or MDB, you can stake either single asset or pairing up with LP and going into the LP pool. And so, yeah, I mean, that is another beautiful part. I mean, we're all here to make money, don't get me wrong. So definitely take some profit by selling, but I would put the majority, of your rewards into everything I just said, and then now you're earning on top of earning, which again, what other protocols can offer this? Like it blows my mind,
Mhm.
that people get attracted, to all these fly by night projects, that have the flashy APRs, or whatever. But really, if you were to just stick to, MDB, EMP, all these ones that have actually proven themselves, you could build amazing wealth for yourself over the long run. So yeah, go ahead, Dan. You want to add to that? Sorry, bro, I'm ranting a little bit here, but
No,
No,
yeah.
you're
it's
good.
really difficult to add to that. It's absolutely spot on, and I think for the MDB protocol, it's huge, right? We're always working. I've two goals in life, which is to burn MDB and to increase the funds in our protocol, and that's what I live to do, and certainly increase improve the ratio between those two things, and it's huge for our protocol. And it doesn't stop there. People can, they get two tokens that then they can do something with, and obviously in MDB's case, you can stake, you can farm, e-share, you can go and farm that. You can put it in I don't think well, I suppose you could put it in the reactor, right?
Yep,
Um, uh,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
and that's another real quick update. We got rid of one of our farms. Actually both of them, the eShare MDB Plus, we've been phasing out for a while, and now we even got rid of the eShare BNB farm. And that's not a reflection on, MDB at all. I mean, it served its purpose. But we're purposely only having one farm now, with that EMP ETH LP farm, to be able to convert some of the eShare rewards into fresh capital that will then go into detonator and reactor to further boost the payout. So again, as with any ROI contract, there has to be fresh capital entering the protocol or the contract, for it to not be a pure Ponzi. And again, typically it's done with new investors paying out the old investors. But with us, we are actually putting fresh capital through, again, many revenue streams, but even these e-share emissions into the respective pools. So again, that makes it very sustainable, and the farthest thing from a Ponzi that you can get to. So yeah, we're really excited, and like Danny said, I mean, once we recover PEG, which we're well on our way, we've seen a major uptick in PEG, and then the boardroom starts printing again. You can get absolutely insane APR through our boardroom by staking eShare in the boardroom. We've seen upwards of 1,400% APR by producing new EMP, into the ecosystem. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, again, I think that's why I've been able to do all these AMAs, because every AMA I do, I get more and more excited for what we have coming. So 100%.
I've got some alpha actually. I've got some
Oh,
alpha.
here
Oh,
we go.
let's
I
hear
love
So
the
it.
alpha. Let's
I've
hear
been
it, Danny.
multitasking a little bit. Actually, I'm getting because LA tells me off for talking too much.
No, no,
One
no.
thing I want to
We'll ban her
underline.
from the server if we need to.
So our legendary was 10K, but our legendary mint price was a lot higher than EMP's. So it's not like for like really, but I know that she's working in the background, and we're in a group chat, and I'm just saying the bids are rolling in. I'm not going to talk numbers because she
Hey,
scares
she
me
said
when
she
she goes all
would.
passive
Yes.
aggressive on
She
me.
said
Yeah,
she would.
she is. She's gonna, yeah,
LA,
she'll
we're
have your
waiting
head
for
on
that
a,
number.
yeah, I love it. She'll have your head on a dinner plate, Danny. No,
Yeah.
man, we love LA. She's one of our official team members now. We brought her on board about a month ago, and so she's the head of our marketing and PR now. And shout out to LA, man. LA literally has scheduled all of these AMAs, I mean, Danny and Mina, you guys have done an amazing job too adding AMAs. But the majority of them were all scheduled on LA, where all I have to do is show up and do the AMAs, and is made. If you look at YouTube right now and type in EMP, you are going to be blown away at the coverage for both EMP and MDB that we've been able to generate over the last week. So yeah, and I know I just was looking at the chat too, Danny. I know we're waiting to confirm that the highest bid has funds in their wallet. Again, we don't want people, inflating their bids. But if that does come through, there is already a massive bid on these legendaries. So again, the demand is going to be insane, and we'll be updating on the hour every hour for the next 24 hours, and doing it every few minutes in the last hour. So definitely make sure you're following our legendary auction for sure.
Awesome. Yes, go check that out, please, guys, if you're here. Now, is there any other questions? I know we had one from Pi that I'll get to right here. How long, or actually the first question, say all NFTs sell out and returns remain the conservative 0.4% with not much change or upwards change in eShare. What sort of daily buy pressure are we looking at?
Yeah, so that's a really good point. So, again, I mean, there's a lot of factors. So, again, forgive me if I'm a little bit too technical here, but I'll lay it all out for those that know and want to know. But there's multiple factors. So, the APR is truly derived from the amount of people that are in the reactor pool, the amount of daily volume organically on reactor, and then the price of eShare, which again, theoretically could be much, much higher or much lower than it is now. But all that being said, that's why we've been really conservative on what APR we are even disclosing, because it's almost impossible for us to project that. However, what we have released is ultra conservative. So, I mean, as long as the reactor balance is healthy, which again, because we're compounding more than we're claiming, in theory, we're able to hold the floor of that contract. It could be like very sustainable. Like, we could have a runway of forever if things stay the way they are, or again, more volume comes in. So to answer the question, there is no lifespan on the NFTs, and even if APR does drop, which again, all of this is not financial advice. Anything could happen. And if you don't realize that, then you're not, you haven't been in DeFi very long. But even if APR starts to drop, you can just sell your NFT. I mean, that is the beautiful part. About being an NFT is that there is that exit, liquidity, so to speak, without hurting the protocol. And I didn't even mention this earlier, but we're going to be implementing a tactic with our treasury called sweeping the floor. And this is what a lot of the major NFT projects do, is where they buy back their own NFTs off the market to create a floor price on the NFTs. So similar to a stock buyback would be, for lack of a better comparison, we're always going to be monitoring the secondary market to get good deals on the NFTs. And the more NFTs that the treasury is able to hoard, that is where the buying pressure could get insane. So again, because we're rewarding everybody in eShare, there really won't be a lot of buying pressure on eShare because it's based on what is already in the LP. However, there will be a massive what we call supply shock because the treasury will be owning a ton of eShare from those rewards. So and then as far as MDB, that will be a ton of buy pressure from the BNB side. Again, not financial advice, but there's going to be a massive amount of buy pressure on MDB. And again, I'm not in a position I can give actual numbers to that, but I'm sure it will be substantial.
Gotcha. So no real numbers can be given just yet.
Totally. And yeah,
So
Danny, I don't know if you can elaborate on that more. I mean, again, I think that we got to be a little vague too. But yeah, go ahead.
is there a rough
No,
estimate
I
that
think
you
you've
guys?
absolutely nailed it. You've absolutely nailed it.
So would there be any kind of like rough estimate? That's just a follow up for it.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
as far as actual buy pressure, I mean, again, I guess if you want to do really rough math, you'd have to know what 1.5 million in LP going into reactor. You could calculate the daily burst on that, and then you would take 30%, is what we're claiming, and that would give you a rough number of the total LP price that we're claiming every day, and then split that in half. Again, half E share, half BNB, and then whatever that number is would be the buying pressure on MDB, and the same amount would be just E share being accumulated by the treasury. So yeah,
Get those
that's
hamsters
more
rolling.
yeah, that's more right. That's more math than I want to be doing right now. So yeah, no doubt.
There's
Yeah,
just so many variables, isn't there? There's so many variables,
for
and I
sure.
think the fact the guys have gone to the length of kind of giving a prediction on that is yeah. But it's such a it's a one thing that we haven't done, and we've got a little bit of feedback on previously. Our NFTs before. We're getting up for like $1,000, whereas AJ's made this like he's made it really obtainable at $300, and yeah, I think the yeah, I think that's a great entry point, and but we hold a lot of eShare BNB LP in the reactor, and we're very happy puppies at the moment. So the difference is that we can't sell that, right? We're getting a fantastic return, but we can't sell it. If that was an NFT at the moment, our NFT would probably be times 5, times 6, because of the intrinsic value that sits behind it. So yeah,
Totally.
I look at where we are without an NFT wrapped around it, and I'm really happy. And I effectively can't liquidate that investment, but if I had an NFT wrapped around it, I could liquidate it on the open market, and that's really interesting.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
no, 100%. And Danny brings up an amazing point. If say we were ultra conservative and now the actual yield on the NFTs is 0.8% or 1%, imagine the amount of demand that will drive to the NFT in the secondary market. Those of you that already have one are going to want to keep it. Those of you that don't have one are going to want one and pay whatever the math works out to be, to where we could easily see a double, a triple. I mean, who knows on the value of the NFT just from the mint price. So that's why it's so important. Again, not financial advice. To try to grab one of these NFTs on Sunday if you can. It's about a no-brainer. In crypto, it's about as close to that a guarantee as you can get. Again, not financial advice. Anything can happen. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. So yeah, but so and again, guys, I hate to do this, but I actually have another AMA that I had to jump off for. But Danny, are you able to hang out? Maybe answer some
Absolutely,
questions. And I
absolutely.
know some of our community members are here as well. If you want to bring on LA, she's here, LA 1111. She can answer any questions for EMP as well. But yeah, Matt Bills, another awesome YouTuber. I have an interview with him right now. So again, sorry guys, but
No, you're good.
get hyped for Sunday, and we're
Yep.
really excited for what's gonna happen. And shout out to all the Cardinal House community. You again, Chris, Zach, JoJo, all you guys have been so supportive, and I really, really appreciate it. So, all right, I gotta run, but thanks
Yeah,
again,
man.
guys.
Have a good one. I'll catch you later, AJ. And
Yep, bye bye.
I think that brings us towards the end of the day, unless we have any other big questions coming up. I guess we do have one. How does MDB responsibly sell eShare to pump Infinity?
How do we responsibly sell eShare to Pump Infinity? When you say responsibly, look, I think at the end, I think it's I think many words they can mean different things to different people, but At the moment, to be honest, we've just been compounding, right? Our entry value is probably, I think, 64K, I think, and I think our LP value at the moment is maybe 250. So we've done really well, but we're still compounding. Infinity is Infinity, we played a little bit of a patient game. It's only been 5-6 weeks, but we know how this game works and people want it now. But at the same time, if people can't wait, then they're going to transfer their tokens over to the more patient, and yeah, so big things coming for Infinity. Actually, super bullish there, and the Infinity Fund is growing every day, and it is ripe to get silly very quickly.
Yeah, awesome. And I think that's a good point. I like the fact that you guys are focusing on the compounding aspect versus selling, because obviously that would have a negative effect on the liquidity of the whole project. So I think that's all the questions we had. I was just going to see if LA wanted to come up and she would share the.
I've never heard LA's
highest bid.
voice, so I want LA to come up.
We'll see. I'll invite her and we'll give it a second. Oh, perfect. She's raising her hand. See if she can unmute.
Hi.
There we go. Hey.
Give me 1 sec, because every time I get on Discord, it gets really quiet for me. So just give me 1 sec.
Yeah, you're totally fine. And by the way, guys, keep in mind we have our node runner release, which is essentially fractionalized
There we go.
validator nodes. So if you guys are looking into Constellation right now.
Oh, I thought that Danny wanted to announce it.
No, now I'm scared of AJ because he's not here. It's your gig, LA, but it's thousands of dollars, isn't it?
Yeah. I was gonna let you have the floor. I've been checking wallets behind the scenes, so that's why it's taken a minute. But we're at 2,800 so far, so we're super pumped.
And this one's for how long?
Awesome.
This
1
has
hour.
just started, right?
It's 24 hours, so it's until 2 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UTC tomorrow, Saturday. So,
Wow.
I mean, I think we're going to see some major fireworks.
Most
I
bids
myself
come in
have
the
my
last
eye
hour,
on
right?
Yeah, I myself have my eye on that cyberpunk. When I have a minute, I might have to put in a bid myself.
That is awesome.
The artwork's amazing, isn't it? On
It's
these
so
NFTs.
cool. I mean, I'm obsessed with pink, so when I saw the pink hair, I mean, I was just going crazy.
Awesome. Yeah, love to hear it. So for anybody in here, there you go. That is the current bid, $2,800. And which one is that on? Or no,
So
it's
the
just
way-
in general, right?
Yes. So the way that
Awesome.
it works is if you want to win either one of them, you have to win the highest bid, because we're only announcing the highest bid. So if you want to win either one of them, you have to have either the highest or the second highest bid, but we're only announcing the highest. So we'll be letting everyone know every couple hours or every hour or so in the channels. And on Saturday, whoever has the highest will get to choose which one of the two they want, and whoever has the second highest will get the other one. And they're both so badass. So we're really excited.
Yeah, awesome. Love to hear it. Well, I think you, LA, I feel like you have somewhere to be pretty soon here with that podcast / AMA, but I'm not 100% sure. I know you've been super busy. Same thing with you, Danny, but I really appreciate you guys both for coming on. And if there's anything else we can do, just feel free to let us know. But thank you guys for coming in and chatting for the last hour. It's been awesome hearing about everything you guys got going and seeing some of those NFTs. I'm excited to see where everything ends up tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, right?
Oh, for the legendary?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I will let you guys all go. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. Unless there was something else you guys had to bring up, but I think we touched on everything. But yeah, it's been really, really great chatting for the past hour. Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Chris.
thanks, buddy. Good to hear your voice for the first time, LA, as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you find me so mean.
No, not at all. Not at all. You're very polite, but yeah, you also, I can get when you're saying, look, don't do that.
Awesome,
Very good.
awesome.
Yeah.
But yes, so go ahead, check out if you're not in their servers. I don't know what you guys are doing, so go check out both their servers. You guys can drop a link if anyone here in the audience wouldn't mind dropping a link in the AMA questions. That would be awesome. But have a wonderful rest of your day, guys, and we will catch you soon. Again, we do have our Node Runner release. Just a little shameless plug today. So if you guys are interested in that, let us know. It's just fractionalized validator nodes. So actual validator nodes, not dealing with DeFi, but more getting into some blue chip validators that we are fractionalizing here at Cardinal House. So
Oh, the shade. The shade.
the shade.
Yeah, the
But-
shade. Not actual, not like these guys.
no. But they
I'm
are
joking.
real validators that are focused on validating transactions on the Constellation network. So a
Only
little
pulling
bit
your
different
leg,
than
Chris.
DeFi. But
I'm pulling your leg. I'm pulling your leg.
I always have to defend myself against Danny. Always.
It's
I'm just kidding.
JoJo.
I'm
It's
just kidding.
JoJo. It's
Yeah.
It's,
When are we setting up this JoJo versus Godfather boxing match? When is this starting up?
he's very young. He's very young.
He
I'm
just
an old
turned
man.
18. Just turned 18. He is
Oh
now
my
legal.
God. Wow. Winner takes all. Yeah, there's. Yeah, well, I didn't realise he was that young. I'm
Yep.
sure I've threatened him before. So that's yeah.
Yeah, you turned 18 like 5 days ago. So,
Wow.
but yes,
Okay.
he's a
Well,
young
now it's
man.
not beating up a child. Sure, why not?
We got him on camera, boys. I'm just kidding. But anyways, thank you guys for coming on. Really appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day. We will catch you guys next time.
Cheers, Chris. See you later.
Bye. Thank you.
See if Austin popped up here for a second there. See if you get your audio working. What's going on, Austin? Do you have something to say? I guess not. His audio is not working today. But if you guys are in the crew, you guys can get a free crew membership for this month, by the way. So if you did want to participate in Node Runner, definitely check out the hashtag pre-search channel, the pre-search grant channel that we got in here. But yes, you guys can get a free crew membership, participate in the Node Runner launch party we got later today. But have a wonderful day, guys. We'll catch you soon.